Well, let's try and keep it to time. I think I'm going to kick off anyway. Zaid, doors closed? They can't escape? Excellent. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the best talk at B-Sides that you've never heard. That you've never heard? Okay, calm. Submitted a talk. It's something I believe in. I'm one of the organizers here. Nice to sort of meet you all. This is me. I have been in cybersecurity for about 16 odd years. That doesn't mean I know what I'm doing. It just means I can talk a lot. And I'm very comfortable talking to vendor slides. Absolutely hate it when it's my own work because this is scary, right? I'm being judged. I am a hacker wannabe. I don't do pen testing. I don't speak in binary. I barely do CTFs. I actually do them after the fact so I can read the write-ups and learn. And I think that's important. That's what drove me to do this talk to all of you today, is to basically say, like, this is not about you have to be the best, you have to be number one. You have to actually just go beyond your barriers and be able to get over yourself and actually just try. So, as I put there, I am fluent in BS. I work in sales mostly. And, again, that's important. You have the confidence. It sounds like you know what you're talking about. I was teaching people to pick locks. I am not a lock picker. Many of you found that out about 5 minutes in. I can teach, I can't do. But that's the thing, right? I have a hobby, I have a passion, and I just want to share it. Be I good or bad, people can do better than I can. That's not a problem. But there are people who can't do it, and I've helped to learn. So that's why I like it. So the types of barriers I'm talking about, it's not physical entry. This is not like how to kick down doors or pick locks, because we've done that. This is more about like psychological and emotional barriers. Things like imposter syndrome. Things like I don't have the technical knowledge. I don't have the ability to do this. Neurodiversity can be seen as a barrier as well. And even gender or your background, your upbringing, things like that can be those barriers that say, I can't do this. And I'm not talking about, in this case, how you get to the upper echelons, how you be the best, but just how do you start? How do you get somewhere? Because it's something I mentor people, and I'm quite active on the Hack South Discord, things like that. And people often say, like, how do I get into this? Or I want to move into this field. What do I need to do? Where do I need to go? And it's those sort of perceived barriers that I want to discuss. So imposter syndrome, pretty much as the name implies, it's I'm not good enough to do this. Legitimately standing here looking at you talking today, I don't feel qualified to be talking to you. I've done the cybersecurity for 16 years. That doesn't qualify me. I'm not, university sort of trained into this. There's no factual data behind this. But basically, I believe in something. I'm going to make a statement. If you disagree, can we quietly have a discussion about it over there, not publicly here? Thank you. But you're free to disagree. That's the thing. Let's have a conversation about it. I'm not being aggressive. I'm not looking to attack anybody. I'm not much of a fighter. I can't run away very fast. So, we're good. But the thing is, just try. Because you might not think you can do it. You'll never know until you actually try. And even then, you don't really fail. You just learn a way that didn't work. That's what I believe. So imposter syndrome is one of those things. I did do a talk at B-Sides Joburg about it. But yeah, that's one of the things that often stops people from just trying, is they think, I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to be good enough. This is also a fairly big one, is technical ability or perceived lack thereof. I'm not technical enough. I can't do it. If you go and have a look at the B-Sides CTF that's running, you'll notice me on the scoreboards, Arico ZA, it goes up, and it's a flat line. I've topped out, that's it, I'm done. I don't have that technical ability, I accept that. But hopefully when the write-ups come, I'll go through and I'll say, oh, that's what I should have looked at. That's how I learn. That's how I kind of get my understanding. Nobody knows everything. And we have some incredibly smart people in this conference today. Most of them have spoken before me, some of them speaking after me, but they all also had to learn, and they don't know everything. They learn every day. They learn ways of doing things, of new things. And in fact, the hardest thing I find with hacking is the mindset of looking at something and saying, oh, there's a perfectly good door. I don't want to use it. I want to try something else. I want to look at this and say, can I do it a different way? And it's that curiosity that actually makes some of the best people. So don't worry. Try something. Don't worry about failing. Rather see it as learning. Neurodiversity is another one. And as we kind of understand and as we start to grow and get our heads around this, excuse the pun, we start to see people on neurodiverse and they say, I'm on the spectrum. Well, guess what? It's a spectrum. Everybody should be on there because that's what a spectrum is. But again, employers and jobs, etc., haven't really been able to take that into account. How do we cope with SOC members, for example, that might have ADHD or Asperger's? How do we deal with autism? How do we deal with dyslexia? Things like that. Now, AI helps a lot, especially with my spelling. It can, understand what I was trying to say. But also, I believe we need more neurodiversity. That should not be something that keeps you back. I don't need 15 people that are going to look at a SOC dashboard and go, that's what that is. I need one person that'll look and go, what's that thing there? Let me go and have a look. Let me scratch into that. And again, that is the essence of hacking. You find most people who are succeeding in this industry, who are exceeding, should I say, are curious, and they are neurodiverse to some way, shape, or form. I myself was diagnosed ADHD not so long ago. Changed my life, actually finally getting a handle on it, understanding I'm not just forgetful and clumsy. There's a reason I'm forgetful and clumsy, but it's again one of those things that once you understand, you can work with, and you actually can turn into a superpower. And then finally, the barriers that we often see are things like your gender or your background. I didn't go to the right schools. I didn't grow up with this technology. Unfortunately, there are still gender stereotypes. I'm not massively comfortable saying that because I think that should come from more diverse genders than mine. But the glass ceiling is a thing. Now, it is lovely to see that this is not just people with beards and glasses. There are actually way more different skin tones, faces, backgrounds, cultures. I love it. That's what hacking is. It's diversity. It's different. So, yeah, you might not have access to the best training. Guess what? There's free training available. There's people who can help you. There's people who can guide you. There are companies like the AWS Skills Center here in Cape Town. They provide free classes. There's free training left, right, and center. AI is even helping us in how we learn. So I don't think that argument holds. I think you should be able to find the training you need. Gender typical roles. Oh, but only men work in cybersecurity. Well, some of the best hackers are actually women. So again, we need to break that thinking. We need to encourage more diversity there. So don't feel like that's going to stop you or that's going to be a barrier. Criminal records, not much I can do about that. It just means you got caught. Let's be honest, everyone in here, I mean, again, looking at the lockpicking as an example, most of us, me included, would get caught. But, again, in this industry, we're in security. We need people who think differently. We don't need people who think exactly the same way. Well, unless you're in compliance, because that's kind of all about regulation frameworks. But we need people who can think a bit differently, who can look at this and say, actually, I'm going to try something. So how do you get past some of these barriers? Because they can be big. And as I say, standing here talking, this is scary as hell. And I've done quite a few conferences and presentations, but this is my own stuff, and I don't like it. But this is me going beyond my barrier to try and share. And reframe that self-doubt as growth. This is me growing, not just outwards, but as a person as well, to say, hey, I can do this. I'm going to deliver this talk to the best of my ability. Hopefully you only wasted 15 minutes of your life if you didn't like it. But yeah, this is me learning to speak and be comfortable with it. I track my achievements, no matter how small. I keep a record of them, so when I'm feeling like I'm not doing well or I'm not getting this, I can actually look back and say, yeah, but look how far I've come. Even though it's a very flat line on a scoreboard, at least I'm not on the zero. That's how I see it in terms of the capture the flag. Seek mentorship. Most of the people in this room will help. They will guide. They will share. That's what, Hex Coffee, that's what Hack South, that's what B-Sides is all about, really. It's sharing. It's mentoring. It's saying, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to help. That whole spirit of Ubuntu really exists in this community where we are because I'm helping, or I am because we all are. And that thing is really, really important. You don't have to be alone. You don't have to feel like you're doing this on your own. People are there to help. In fact, Blessing, I think you're going to be talking a bit about getting some help in your next speech. Spoiler alert. And then talk about it. Say, I don't know what's going on. I'm not feeling comfortable with this. Everybody at some point has not felt comfortable. Some of the best keynote speakers, if you chat with Anna Collard or you speak to Dominic from last year, they don't like doing this. We struggle to get people to keynote because they're like, I don't want to sit and talk in front of people as much as I like it. Just say that. We've all experienced it. We've all experienced imposter syndrome. It's actually fairly common. So yeah, don't be ashamed of it. And in terms of cybersecurity strategies and going beyond those sort of technical barriers that we have, start small. Okay, you're never going to go and hack the Gibson just because you managed to find something on your foot. Start small. Start with a little hack. Start with learning an operating system. Again, we celebrate those wins as a community. We've seen people on Hack South say, hey, I learned how to list files in a directory on Linux. Everybody celebrated that. They said, dude, that's well done. Good learning. Fantastic. It's something basic, but you know what? They took the time. They learned. They're proud of it. Let's celebrate that. Leverage the free resources. There's a lot, as I said, of learning out there. There are a lot of free Try Hack Me, Hack the Box. There's a lot of events. There's a lot of ways that you can actually learn things. I myself, I try and do some teaching with some other the B-sides crowds. I try and mentor. People are willing to help. We're not going to do it for you, but we want to empower you to be able to do it, to learn and to get better. This third one's one I really believe in, build a tribe. So I talk a lot about this on like my socials, my LinkedIn, pretty much to say, you're my cybersecurity tribe. These are people that I know, I respect, and I'll share job opportunities or cool articles or, unfortunately, a lot of elastic-themed marketing stuff because I still got bills to pay. But that tribe is important to me. These are people that I know that will back me, that will help. And then the last one, I guess while we're all here, be a community player. Like, get involved. Don't sit on the sidelines. Don't just let people talk. If you're tired of hearing me talk, that's fine. Come and step up. Get involved in something. There are so many communities in South Africa. I'm actually surprised. It's not just about B-sides or Hack South. There's small meetups. There are vendor-sponsored events. There are training hackathons, those sorts of things. So the community is strong. Get involved. I guess that's the message I want to leave you with. Don't be afraid. For many years, never came to B-sides because I thought this is going to be way too technical. I will not get it, and they'll see I'm a fraud. Last year was my first B-sides. I volunteered because I thought, sweet, I can get a free ticket. Oh, wait, we're recording this. And then just chatting with Charlie, he's like, no, I actually need your help with organizing. So I was like, okay, cool, I did. And I had an absolute blast. I'm back this year, absolutely loving it. Again, growing by submitting a talk this year. Thankfully, they just said it as a lightning talk, not a 30-minute one. I was quite happy about that. But that's the thing. I'm getting involved in this community. I'm not the brightest. I'm not the greatest. But I'm here. I stepped up, and I encourage you all to do the same. Not like literally. So with that, and keeping to time, I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
Across the attack surface, scattered products and siloed views create blind spots that feel unstoppable. The deadliest risks are in these gaps, where attackers move in. It's time to unify fragmented snapshots into one all-seeing view of risk and unleash a platform born with one intention: isolate and eradicate your priority exposures. From IT infrastructure to cloud environments to critical infrastructure and everywhere in between. This is Tenable. Your exposure ends here.